Dygo, I'm a little dabbler in the rewriting process now. I sort of joined your ranks up there as a Naruto rewriter. So I actually have a pain rewrite that I think you're going to love.
Okay.
So Kamui, this is actually very poetic irony, if anything, Kamui. I'm about to get some poetic justice, some ironic justice, some justice of irony, delivered from the judgment of the. Anyways, so okay. So Kamui didn't like my pain rewrite because Kamui, the defensive person who is very obtuse and ignorant and very very smelly as well. It makes sense that someone like Kamui wouldn't like it.
Actual criticism of your rewrite.
It smells like fish.
Fine.
Exactly.
You're just.
What's the gist? What's the gist? I want to know the gist.
All right, so instead of Naruto just being like, I have no answer, he tries to give an answer, but then Pain's just like, oh, well, actually, that didn't work, and then Naruto feels more defeated, and then that's just better.
What's the answer?
So Pain's answer is like, well, you can't possibly save the world, this is the only way to do it. Naruto's answer is, well, I'm on my way to doing it. You gotta do it like steps at a time. I've already started taking steps. For example, the Land of Waves. I helped to build a bridge. I brought peace to the land. Pain would be like, well, actually, no, you haven't brought peace to the land. The sword was taken. Then you can add things in, such as like, well, not even that. Like Kakuzu's accountant was there. Sasuke recently went and did conflict there. Like it was already corrupt, that land. So nothing really changed. If anything, you could also add things such as the bridge actually brought more conflict because people like Gato rose up, filled in the power vacuum, and brought even more conflict than there was before originally. So Naruto only hurt the land in the long term, even if he helped it in the short term.
And then Nagato just doesn't use Rinna Tensei to revive the Leaf Village, and Kakashi dies.
Yeah, all right.
I'm actually just like, would you have done this way, or would you have like not killed Kakashi during the arc and just have him like unconscious or whatever?
Well, my rewrite wasn't actually touching on that part at all, even though Kamui had his own rewrite, which was discussing how that could have been changed. So, for example, something me and Kamui discussed was for the ending. Instead of reviving absolutely literally everybody, because it's 6 paths of pain, what if he can only revive 6 people? And he has to make a
little goofy, but
a little bit.
You could establish hard set rules for the Rinna Tensei Jutsu, which is a little kind of just up in the air in the series, because in the work they use it to revive Madara, but they don't use Madara's actual body. They revive Madara where his Edo body was.
It doesn't make sense.
But my headcanon is that because the people in the Leaf Village died like only an hour or 2 hours ago or so, it was much easier to pull their souls out of the Pure Lands. Or maybe they were not even in the Pure Lands, like their souls were traveling there, so it was much easier to pull them back. And then to revive a single person that just died a long time ago, you can do that, and you can even reform that person's body at their peak, but you can just like do that for one person, and then you die from the consequences of the jutsu. That's my headcanon, at least. I like that concept for the rewrite. It's just that, like,
oh, wow. What do you know, Kamui?
A lot of the series would, if Nagato,
you didn't even talk about the whole rewrite, Oodie.
I know, not yet.
Like that part I find interesting.
No, you
I just think that if you rewrite it that way, you would have to change way more things, obviously, because I mean, if Kakashi's dying, then a lot of the series would change. But to be honest, Kakashi is the only like big character that would die in the Pain arc. So if you just take that out, then like the series can continue kind of similarly to what it is after this, but it wouldn't make sense for Naruto to return to the Leaf Village as a big hero, as the people lifting him up and people actually respecting him for the first time, because then a lot of people from the village died because of him protecting him, essentially. So I don't think it would make sense for the Leaf Village to be so like friendly towards Naruto. And I think that was the point of the Pain arc. It was supposed to make Naruto the hero of the Leaf Village. And I actually like the Rinna Tensei part of it. I like the talk no jutsu there, but I like your concept too. I think it could have worked just fine. It's just a matter of what do you want to tell in that part of the story. Like, what's the direction you're going? Do you want the story to be way grimmer? Then yeah, you can point out Naruto's failures and that he's too naive and it's not right. But if you want the story to be more hopeful, then you can go with what Kishimoto did. Though I would say that foreshadowing the Rinne Tensei Jutsu would have been better because it does feel like it comes out of nowhere in the Pain arc.
It's
I
actually
don't really
interesting.
know how they would foreshadow it because I mean you could argue that they already were quote unquote foreshadowing it with the how he can revive the dead because obviously they're already dead bodies, but he's Pain seemingly reviving the other Pains.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're still like corpses. I think
that's the thing. It's not
you could have
same.
there's a scene when Sasuke is going towards the village with his team and like his goal is to destroy the Leaf Village there. But then Obito intercepts him and he says, "Okay, the village has literally been destroyed like 5 minutes ago. Like you don't have to go there anymore." And Zetsu comes in and says, by the way, Nagato used the Rinne Tensei to revive the people of the village." And then Obito says, because it was quote-unquote Madara at the time, he says, I meant to use the jutsu on me. You could have done that scene before the Pain arc.
Okay.
Talking about it. That's a cool idea.
Yeah. Going back to the Pain rewrite. So, actually, you were saying something interesting. Making it more dark, grim. So, this is actually why Kamui and I had talked about 6 people to be revived. Because me and Kamui killed off a lot of people in our version. So we talked
you
about
were killing more people in the Pain arc.
Yeah, so first of all, Hinata is the first she has to die in this.
So,
I kind of agree with you.
As a preface to this, we said both Kakashi and Hinata definitely should die, but they should both be revived. So, but having only 2
assuming you have 6 people to bring back.
We did.
Thing. So
the problem with
weird.
The problem with it is just like if you kill 6 pretty important characters, like if you kill, I don't know, Rock Lee, Tenten, whatever, like named semi-important characters, and then you bring back the exact same characters that were important, and then you neglect everybody else, it just feels a little cheap. It feels way cheaper than bringing literally everybody back, because then you're not being selective anymore.
That was
it feels
problem.
weird.
6 was too many. 6 worked with 6 Paths of Pain very well, but it was too many people. I was like, realistically, 2 was the best because Hinata and Kakashi dying coming back was good, and then we'd have the other people just stay dead. Realistically, the best. The problem is just 2 just isn't you can bring 2 people back to life. It just seems a little bit weird. Like, why 2?
Yeah, 2. If you want to sacrifice Kakashi versus Pain, like that moment in the series, I don't think it's a pivotal moment. It's a really cool and interesting moment, but I don't think it's like a absolutely necessary moment. The most important thing story-wise is his reunion with his dad in like Limbo, but you could do that later if you brought his dad back as an Edo. You could do the same scene.
My thing was really the moment when Naruto says, "You killed my master and my sensei."
I agree.
And then also when
you lose
he asks Tsunade where Kakashi is, and he just is like, "I understand," and then he like goes balls to the walls.
Yeah,
like, those 2 moments, I was like, it's not the same with that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it would lose that if.
Now that I'm thinking about it, though, 1 person per Rinnegan Eye could make sense for why it's 2 people. There's 2 Rinnegan.
It makes sense.
And then for Obito, this actually works well for Obito. He only has 1 Rinnegan, so he can only bring back Madara.
Still, like, it would just feel weird, because, like, when Naruto's tell Nagato, bring back Kakashi and Hinata.
In this case, Naruto doesn't pick. Nagato would just say, like, there is something I can do, and he just, like, Nagato would essentially just choose the people.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
We thought of some, like, silly lines for him. Like I don't think you should actually do this, but for example, Nagato's like, "You said, like, I can't bring back Jiraiya, but you said I took a sensei, right?" And then he, like, revives him.
Yeah. Like, he would say he'll bring back the 2 closest people.
Why wouldn't he be able to bring Jiraiya back? Like,
because Jiraiya's at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, so that couldn't happen either way.
Jiraiya just drowns.
Okay, I guess that's a good point. But then, like, in the war arc, like, Obito just creates a new body for Madara. So...
Bro,
I don't know.
Shit didn't make sense. Okay, well, also, but to be fair, it was Kabuto's Edo Tensei body, and Kabuto wasn't able to Edo Tensei Jiraiya either because he was at the bottom of the ocean. So Jiraiya's just kind of screwed.
Because he's dumb and he can, like, collect, like, all those gallons of blood Jiraiya spilled on
I know, he spit
the
up,
Rain
it's like
Village.
all over the ocean.
I mean, I guess you could say the rain washed it off, but I don't
It
know,
is the Rain
man.
Village, yeah, it makes sense. You could also say that Nagato would bring back the two people that would help Naruto the most in the future, or would train Naruto. So, like, his sensei would obviously be there, and the Hinata would also help guide the way, or whatever. It'd be weird that Pain would know that.
I think in that sense, you could also look at it as, like, for Nagato thinking from his perspective of the pains he lost. So Naruto doesn't have a father. Kakashi, in his mind, even though Iruka is the dad for Naruto, Nagato probably would just assume Kakashi more. So think, okay, there's that father figure. I lost my parents. I won't take away yours. And then my best friend was Yahiko. He died. Obviously, I guess Sasuke would be better, but from Nagato's perspective here, like, hey, this is a friend of yours I killed. I'll revive them, kind of thing.
I mean, you don't know what Nagato and Yahiko did, you know, and
I mean, I'm pretty sure Konan was the one getting with Yahiko, if anything.
Yeah. So okay,
well, you never see what actually happens in that scene. Like they cut away. So
Dygo, this actually
assuming things here.
Yeah. He
So-
actually ran to Nagato instead. Yahiko's like, sorry, Konan.
So, well, first of all, so some other people we had choose to revive for the 6. Shizune, I guess, was one random one just to bring the number up. But like more important people. So
I mean,
get
because
this.
she has a name.
so
Fugaku, I suppose.
this really goes into the darkness of this. So we're gonna leave the Konohamaru fight exactly as it is, but you see where I'm going with this just because I'm mentioning his name. So that happens. Konohamaru starts walking away, and then because it's dark, we're killing Konohamaru. One of the other Pains shows up. Just kills him afterwards.
So that
It's
was
dark.
if we were doing more people to revive, though. If we're gonna revive,
I
people,
actually
then we'd
really like
Konohamaru.
this idea.
Right?
I
Yeah.
love this idea of Konohamaru dying because I detest Konohamaru as a character and he should just be dealt with in the story. Like he's a filler character.
Yeah. So
essentially.
I think you'll also
Who
like
was
this.
The other ones we had for the 6.
Just
I know
for the
Konohamaru
cool
was our
factor.
third.
Just for the cool factor. Gaara's in the village. Gaara's helping out.
Yeah,
Gaara
he
dies
again.
trying to fight for Naruto's sake. Like,
That's,
my
I
friend
don't
fought for
know.
me, so now I'm gonna fight for him. Basically, Gaara's speech in the war arc, but in the Pain arc.
But Gaara would be too much of like a help in there. Like if Gaara was there, they could actually turn the tide before Pain launches his massive Shinra Tensei. You could say Pain is that much more powerful, and they deal with
Yeah.
Gaara some other way. But
Because Gaara's not in the desert, first of all. Second of all, he doesn't want to destroy the village. So he's also nerfed in that regard.
yeah, I guess.
Yeah, like he's
But,
not
like,
gonna be able
I
to
still
do
think
the wall of sand
it
like
would-
he did with Datara.
It would diminish
Yeah.
a little bit of what they were trying to say because that was the Leaf Village protecting Naruto for the first time. They were like, "Oh, where's Naruto? I'm not telling you. Like, it doesn't matter what you do to me. You can kill me. I'm not gonna tell where he is." And if Gaara was there, it would be like, "Oh, this is not exactly the Leaf Village anymore." I don't know. I prefer just like Leaf ninjas fighting against Pain there. What does he say before that? Like
The
before
whole
he says, "I have no answer."
so in my rewrite version, before he
Oh, about
jumps
the
to that.
like the Tenchi, not the land of waves and stuff.
Yeah,
That happens
because
there.
Naruto's just being defensive.
Oh, I thought that happened when Naruto met with Nagato himself.
No.
Not-
This
okay,
is the
okay.
when he's pinned down. Because Naruto before this was
Okay.
defensive. Like Pain was trying to talk to him, but he couldn't because he was still fighting. At this point, Naruto's backed into a corner. He's still defensive, but he has no choice but to talk. So now they're actually going to talk it out. Naruto's first going to be defensive, like he was, because like he's like, "I told you to shut the hell up," and he's like, "Datara was right. He is a brat or whatever." So here he's pinned
Yeah.
down. Here, sticking with this character, he's going to be defensive at first. He's going to be hot-headed. And then Pain's going to prove him wrong, meticulously break him down at every step along the way. Everything he's done has inevitably failed in the long run. He's a failure. He can't change this world. Only Pain's
I
answer
mean-
works.
Like, is his only argument the land of waves? Because that's pretty much the only time Naruto would have an impact in like a nation, I would say.
No, I did discuss a few
Or
other
like,
things.
is he gonna mention like I don't know his Akatsuki encounters or maybe even Sasuke?
Yeah, so this was a few things I was going to mention was he stopped Gaara once before. Well, Pain's going to say, okay, well, we've killed Gaara before. He's changed the Hyuga, and then he's going to be like, oh, the Hyuga in the village that I just destroyed? You couldn't stop Sasuke from coming back to the village or from going to Orochimaru.
See, for me, like your concept could work. It's just some of these. I felt like the specifics on some of this, like you just need to tweak it because it makes or breaks it. Because I just feel like that doesn't, like Naruto's saying, I changed the Hyuga.
Changing the Hyuga clan is not something that happened like at that point of the story.
Yeah, I know.
First of all, you didn't do
It's
that.
something
it's
that never
weird.
happens actually in the series.
But that,
like, it
again-
never really happens. You never get development for the Hyuga clan,
And that is a
in
problem.
general, like.
So
It is a
Naruto
big
would say like
problem.
he's changed Neji, which went on to change the Hyuga. In this case, you would just rewrite an earlier part of the story to where you do see some small change in the Hyuga or something.
There was some small change. Like for example, Hiyashi's behavior towards Neji was clearly different from what it was before. And in the war arc, Hiyashi wanted Neji to be like a leader of, I don't know the specific role, but he wanted him to do some leading role, whereas Neji wanted it to be Hinata. I remember that. Unless it was filler, but either way, I remember.
Oh yeah, I don't remember that.
So there are
yeah.
some changes, but the problem is, I just feel like that's irrelevant. Like, because Nagato's like, if Naruto changed them, he says, "Oh yeah." Well, first of all, they weren't dead. But even if he says like, "Oh yeah, well I killed them," it's like, okay, but I did change them. Like he would still be right. That's not really the best counter.
I still think the Land of Waves argument is probably the best one because like it has a lot of repercussion for people that are not necessarily main players. And if Naruto wants to change this cycle, he would have to change the world for the better for everyone. And if the Land of Waves is still like a shithole, then Nagato would have a point here. But then every other like major thing that Naruto quote unquote changed is much more personal. That wouldn't work as well, I would say.
Well, I think the whole like long-term argument is what matters, because once Naruto dies, he passed away, he's no longer able to change the world, so it's only his legacy left behind. So would the world stay changed after Naruto left? That's the argument Pain is getting at. Because even if Naruto's technically permanently changed Uchiha with no outside forces, well, there are still outside forces. Pain is just one of them. Pain isn't just one entity. Pain is the cycle of hatred. I didn't mean Hyuga, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So even if the Hyuga were changed, in the long run, that didn't lead to peace. Because sure, the Hyuga were at peace, but the world wasn't at peace, and so then the world's going to make the Hyuga not at peace, and then the Hyuga just aren't going to be at peace again. Because even if Naruto defeats Pain here, in the future, the world still isn't going to be at peace, even if Pain's defeated. Someone's just going to take Pain's place in the future, and if Naruto's dead, he can't stop that person. So it's not a power thing. It's just a society or natural thing. It's just nature. So Naruto's combating concepts itself here, which is the cycle of hatred. But something I thought of that I didn't bring up months ago when I thought of this rewrite. Kamui, I think you're going to like this. Dygo, I think you're going to like this too. A new answer Naruto could say here. Naruto would mention the fact that he killed Kakuzu. And this is important for two aspects here. First of all,
he technically didn't kill Kakuzu.
Okay, but he defeated Kakuzu. Two aspects here. First of all, Naruto's doing this in retaliation. He's continuing the cycle of hatred. He did this for revenge, is what Nagato could say, because it's in response to Asuma dying.
He didn't beat Kakuzu for revenge. He was just self-defense. Kakuzu was trying to capture him.
Bro, he literally went to
Shikamaru
Kakuzu.
Killed Hidan in revenge.
I guess you could say it wasn't revenge per se, because like Naruto never met Kakuzu before, and like you could say he was just a leaf ninja protecting the Land of Fire in that situation, because obviously Kakuzu was a threat for them, and he wanted to capture Naruto. So I wouldn't say there was revenge.
Oh my god, you guys are being way too specific, pedantic about it. If the story did this, you wouldn't even question it. Like, again, Naruto's the one that went to them. They weren't actively hunting down Naruto at the moment.
No, but Naruto didn't have, like... Sure, he obviously kind of hated Kakuzu, but he didn't have this personal relationship with him where you can say, oh, he did it for revenge.
But, well, first of all...
Shikamaru, for sure.
First of all, Naruto was told that the Akatsuki killed Asuma, so he would just assume it was Kakuzu and Hidan. Like, he wasn't even there. One of Naruto's reasons for being there is for Asuma.
No, it's not, though. That's not why he's there.
Let's not pretend like Asuma wasn't just in the back of his mind. Like, he heard it in the middle of his training in this same arc.
I'm not saying Asuma was completely irrelevant,
part of his motivation.
But there is zero focus on Naruto thinking about Asuma. I'm not saying he had 0% thought of him, but that is not the focus.
Okay,
If
then rewrite it to where he
anything,
does.
his
There
focus
you
is
go.
Kakashi, the fourth Hokage, and Sasuke.
Okay, well, there's a
It's
second
not
aspect to this.
Really awesome.
There's a second aspect to this. That was just the first aspect. The fact that Naruto's going there, perpetuating a cycle of hatred or whatever. The second aspect is that, again, Payne's going to point this out too. Naruto didn't even try to talk to him. Which that is a thing. That's narratively a thing that people have argued. Naruto's being selfish. He's only thinking about Sasuke, blah, blah, blah. He's not trying to do talk no jutsu or anything. He's just going first thing, fists first. Like, he's not trying to resolve it with his words or through peace or anything. He's only going through conflict, through power.
Against Pain.
Against Kakuzu.
Like,
but Pain too,
against
yeah.
Okay.
You could argue both.
Okay.
That Naruto hasn't changed.
No, but the difference, though, like the thing is, when Naruto does talk no jutsu,
Stop
Naruto
this.
is usually seeing through something, and that's why he's trying to reach through to them. With Kakuzu, I mean, you could argue he never tried to get to know Kakuzu more, but like there was just nothing for Naruto to even like see as like, for example, like Gaara, Naruto sees himself in Gaara, and he sees how they are so similar yet so different, and he sees how Gaara is explaining his way of life and why he's strong, and Naruto comes to disagree, and he's not only protecting Sakura, he is, whether intentionally or not, he's proving to Gaara what true strength is, and then he has this conversation about loneliness, all this shit, because he understands Gaara. But and same with Sasuke and Obito and so on. But for Kakuzu, Naruto doesn't know anything about this dude. He's just over here like trying to capture him, and it's just like, I wouldn't expect him to do this.
Naruto doesn't try to talk no jutsu or Orochimaru either, for example. There are some characters that you can't really do that with. Every single character Naruto uses talking no jutsu on have something that's kind of a mirror to Naruto's own character.
They are like Naruto. That's why he can see through things. Like with Obito especially, it's like he literally just saw the dude was hiding behind a mask, literally and figuratively. And that's why he's trying to like bring out Obito Uchiha instead of the guy he's pretending to be at the moment.
Okay, but I'm not the only one.
I know Kakuzu's wearing a mask, but like,
I'm not the only one who have mentioned the scene. Naruto is just objectively being partially selfish here. Like, he's staking Kakuzu's life to catch up to Sasuke. That's purely personal to Naruto. Not even thinking about Kakuzu. It's something that other people have mentioned.
Kakuzu's not thinking about him.
Okay, well, freaking Obito wasn't thinking about Naruto.
I mean, I guess you could say that, but I don't think it would make for a very interesting storytelling. Cause, like, it was Kakuzu. It was not the most compelling Akatsuki villain in terms of character or even like personality.
Well, in this case,
I killed Kakuzu. I don't know.
Naruto's perspective on the Akatsuki up to this point, before meeting Nagato too, though, is that they are people who just revel in killing. That's what he says to Nagato. You're not like the others who just revel in killing.
Yeah, he also didn't know the truth about Itachi either. He thought Itachi was like the worst person ever.
Yeah, and even to Itachi, he's okay, but he talked with Itachi. Itachi didn't give him much of a choice, but he's like, "Oh, I treat Sasuke more like a brother than you ever could." He's not just trying to punch Itachi in the Genjutsu.
That was only after Naruto had already been completely, destroyed by Itachi's Genjutsu. There, he was completely, submissive to Itachi.
Okay, but
he actually attacked Itachi before. Like, before Naruto said anything, he attacked Itachi in that scene.
But the same argument applies to pretty much everyone else Naruto talk no jutsu. He not only thought, but saw both Zabuza and Gaara act like this. Like it's just the same thing.
No, but
that was only after he fought against them and understood them.
Okay, same with Kakuzu.
There isn't a talk no jutsu in Naruto where Naruto, but he didn't have that, spark with Kakuzu.
Oodie, the honest difference is that the villains Naruto talk no jutsus, they essentially said things or gave obvious cues and clues for Naruto. So Gaara starts yelling about things, and he starts telling Naruto about his past, his life. So Naruto already knows certain things about Gaara. Obviously, Sasuke grew up with, and Obito, he hears things from Kakashi. Kakashi tells him enough about Obito. Obito is clearly testing Naruto. Naruto's able to see, and he also literally Ninshu saw into Obito's heart as well. That was an important thing. So Naruto is essentially spoon-fed the important details he needs. Kakuzu's
I mean,
not talking to Naruto.
Zabuza's Sakura Jutsu is not even intentional. Like, Naruto's just renting.
That's true. But bro, let's not pretend like Naruto doesn't connect on the most broad, general level.
Both in the forest, so he knew who Haku was. And then Haku starts saying shit to Naruto after he goes in rage mode, attacks Haku. The mask comes off. Haku starts telling him things about his life. And then Naruto starts ranting about that to Zabuza.
And Naruto was still gonna kill him anyway. Naruto was gonna kill Haku
because Haku asked him to. Naruto stopped
Haku
his punch on Haku before Haku started talking to him.
I know, but like still, he was gonna kill Haku even if they were, quote unquote reconciled there, because there was just no way for them to be allies in that situation.
Well, that's just because Naruto's a fierce gaslighting terrorist, but that's a different conversation.
No, but really though, Oodie, the main thing is people like Orochimaru, Kakuzu, Deidara, and stuff, they didn't give Naruto something to latch on.
Bro, that's nonsense.
Like, hey, like there's more to these characters.
That's
They're
nonsense.
Not just murderers.
Oh, Kabuto, you're just lying to yourself. Kakuzu, you have darkness deep in your heart. I see the hatred in your eyes. Kakuzu, you're fighting alone. The loneliness hurts. It hurt me too. It's so easy. You just connect on those general, broad level.
That would be gaslight.
What do you mean? Naruto's not saying anything wrong. Kakuzu's literally fighting by himself. He's alone right now. He's literally alone.
Yeah, but Oodie, but you're being stupid. Like, this isn't. That's not how Naruto's Takno Jutsu works. Okay, that's not what he's doing with all these scenes. It just doesn't make sense for him to do this to Kakuzu unless Kakuzu starts saying shit like about how I once wanted to be Hokage too, or whatever the hell. I was a forbidden jerk. Like you start saying shit that Naruto can like connect with.
Bro, no, he's not even thinking about Kakuzu. He's only thinking about himself. Because clearly Kakuzu has a lot of hatred harbored.
The only reason no offense, but the only reason Naruto thinks about these other people's perspectives.
I don't even think so.
They say
Kakuzu was not like a hateful person per se. He was just a pragmatist that didn't care about other people.
Bro was just doing his job in the Akatsuki and trying to make money.
He was collecting money, collecting hearts when he needed to. He wasn't like, I'm gonna kill you because I enjoy it, like Hidan was.
And look how the Akatsuki treated him. They left him all alone. Just like Naruto. Naruto was just trying to do his job as a ninja, but the villagers left him alone. And you know what? The villagers also didn't care about Naruto. Kid Naruto didn't care about the villagers as a kid.
His village elders, they gave him the mission to assassinate Hashirama, then he failed, and because of that he was ousted from the village.
Yeah, that's a tragic backstory.
Mean.
Yeah, Naruto could have been ousted from the village. Kakuzu's just like me, is what Naruto should be thinking.
Nope. But Oodie, again, though, the problem is Naruto, again, you can criticize Naruto. Naruto doesn't go out of his way to learn these things. The characters he talks no jutsus spoon feed it to him, directly or indirectly. So he's not going to ask Kakuzu about his past in the middle of the fight. Kakuzu would have to just start bringing it up. That's what happens when Naruto does this.
Naruto's a sensory ninja. He can literally just sense his chakra.
The only two characters that happens, like, it only happens with Obito and Nagato. Because the other Takanojutsus are different. And Gaara. The other Takanojutsus are different because Sai, he was an ally. Tsunade, she was also an ally. Sasuke, obviously there was way more to do with their backstory and everything they went through the entire story. So it's very different. And there's who else gets Takanojutsu in maybe a more minor Zabuza. It was not even intentional. Naruto was just ranting about what he felt at the moment because Zabuza acted so heartless towards Haku.
Okay.
And yeah,
the point of this fight is to describe or to show Naruto's growth. What better way to do that than to have two high-level shinobi when they clash, when their fists clash, they can read each other's heart. What better way than to have Naruto see inside Kakuzu's mind?
He would see that Kakuzu doesn't care about anything other than money and himself.
Yeah, bro's gonna see dollar bills.
I think there's a problem in trying to like make every villain sympathetic. Some people are just evil and you just have to deal with them.
No, it's not about that. Again, I'm not doing that. In fact, I'm leaving this scene as it is because I need this to be Naruto's mistake for it to work for the pain rewrite.
No, yeah, I just think it's not really a mistake.
It would be from Nagato's
you
perspective.
could write it differently so that it feels like a mistake in hindsight, but even in hindsight, it doesn't feel like a mistake. Because literally any Leaf Ninja in Naruto's position would do the same thing. They would kill Kakuzu if they could.
The point is, though... Okay, well, but the point is, though, that Nagato's the one viewing it as a mistake. And we're having two different sides of the conversation here from Naruto and Nagato's perspective. So it's fine for them to have one of them to just be wrong in this case, for Nagato to just be wrong, considering he's wrong at the end of the arc. Considering this is like the midpoint of the arc, it's okay for him to be quote-unquote technically right, even though he's wrong all along here. Yeah.
But I think this point would fall flat. Like, it wouldn't feel as though... Like, the audience wouldn't read that and say, oh, okay, he actually has a point there. They'd just be like, no, whatever, it's Kakuzu. He literally deserved to die. I don't really agree with this guy. Because you actually have to agree a little bit with Pain there in that speech for the entire arc to work.
Well, even if you agree that...
So that's why I think that's why I think the Land of Waves argument is actually the best one you gave.
But it would
because of the entire... Oh, you thought the Land of Waves was actually pretty good, huh? No, it's pretty garbage. It's even worse. But that would be very demoralizing for Naruto.
I agree. Yeah, especially if this is Naruto's first time hearing about this. Like, Naruto didn't realize the Land of Waves was destroyed, so he would be defeated.
That you would have to probably change a small scene later when Inari and Tazuna come to rebuild the Leaf Village.
Sure.
You have to... Because they seem very happy in that scene, so you'd have to change that.
Hey, they could be happy that they see
but it's
Naruto
not a very
again.
big rewrite.
Or happy... No, they're happy because Naruto, they escaped the Land of Waves. That's why they're happy. They got out of that prison.
So you'd have to change it somewhat.
So, okay, so I think it would still work, because I don't think people would think about it. They would just be immersed, because this is surrounded within the 6-minute cycle of hatred speech, which everyone looks at and is like, all right, well, Pain has a point.
If he just if he doesn't focus on that, I think it's fine. But if he makes a big deal out of Naruto killing Kakuzu, like if he's just listing everything and like finishing it with the Land of Waves, I think this would actually work well.
Yeah, I think that'd be nice.
And also
they went
like
in backwards order. Yeah, I like that, going in backwards order to where you finish last with the first thing that we saw, Land of Waves. The most recent thing would be
the second to last thing would be Sasuke and Naruto's failure to actually bring his friend back. And so
that was the
like
one I was gonna say. If anything, you should focus on the fact that Sasuke didn't try to compromise with, or sorry, Naruto didn't try to compromise with Sasuke. Ignore Kakuzu. But that doesn't follow a revenge angle. It's just a mistake on Naruto's part that plays into his thoughts later in the arc. But
okay, but it's not the end result of Kakuzu that matters.
Naruto said to Sasuke.
Like Pain's point here isn't you killed Kakuzu. Like, it's not about Kakuzu, it's about Naruto's reaction to Kakuzu.
It's because Naruto wasn't doing anything to end the cycle there. That would be, like, Pain's argument.
Yeah.
Like, he just fought Kakuzu and that's it. I don't think that the Hyuga clan thing would be very impactful in this situation, unless if you do some more stuff beforehand to develop the Hyuga clan further, because I don't even think Nagato cares about the Hyuga clan.
Yeah, I agree. They should have just added, like even in canon, outside of this rewrite, they should have just added more there anyways.
Yeah, I agree. I think Gaara wouldn't work either for this. Maybe it could work some other element to it, because like technically Gaara is Nagato perpetuating the cycle. Like, he captured a Kage, he killed a Kage.
Well, actually,
and Naruto failed to like prevent that.
This is funny. So, okay, regardless of the part 1 Gaara fight, Naruto could be like, oh, well, actually, I've defeated you and Sasuke before. I saved Gaara's life. He could be like, oh, Gaara, I just killed him. And Naruto, if he's just realizing this, that would beat him down into the dirt.
Oh, if Gaara was in the village?
Yeah, going with the rewrite, if Pain killed Gaara before Naruto showed up and Naruto didn't realize that.
Okay, that would definitely be a shock.
But I don't think that's anything to do with Nagato's point. It just makes Nagato look like a shithead. Like, it just,
I agree.
Like, oh yeah,
it just makes him look petty.
What I killed him. How
It
is
makes
how
it
is
look
Nagato
petty.
voice?
It's funny
bit-
just
a
because of
little
how
bit petty.
absurdly ridiculous it sounds like that. But the point here isn't, oh, I killed your friend again. It's just rubbing it in. That's so funny. The point is that even though Naruto saved him in the short term, he couldn't do anything for Gaara in the long term. His friend still died from conflict's hand because the cycle of hatred is still continuing.
But
Naruto
that's
couldn't
not
be
the
there
way
for
to go,
him.
but Naruto's saying, I saved Gaara. I guess, are you trying to say he saved him versus Deidara? Is that your point?
The point is that Naruto's
No,
changing the world, quote unquote. Like he's having an impact in the world, but that impact doesn't last.
No, but Naruto's impact in terms of changing Gaara did last because Gaara was the one attacking people and being the quote-unquote bad guy. Naruto permanently changed Gaara for that. Yeah, Gaara died, but Gaara didn't continue killing people. That was permanent.
But again, Naruto's
True.
impact isn't permanent because Gaara's dead.
No, his impact on Gaara was permanent. Because Gaara's dead, it can't be changed.
It's not permanent because no, Gaara's dead, so he can't continue to be nice to people.
Oodie, that's stupid.
Oh
He
my
permanently
god.
changed Gaara. Like, that is
Okay.
a fact. That's a horrible... Don't use Gaara for this. Don't use Kakuzu.
No, you're just wrong.
You can make the Land of Waves one. I think you could weave in. You would just have to,
Oh,
like...
I
make it
could just weave it in
Personally, I
somehow. Ugh.
no, honestly, why don't you just get to the one part I was okay with in your
Okay.
rewrite?
All right, so moving on to the
What was
second
the part
part.
you
All
were
right.
okay with?
This completely just pretty much erase all that from your mind. Not really, but like it different conversation basically. So Pain rewrite part 2. Here we go. Okay, so
Okay, so this is another what if scenario, like for the rewrite.
well, it's the same.
It's not like a.
It's the same one, but like it's a different scene basically. When Pain is killing Hinata. Okay, this is crazy. Listen, you're just gonna have to hear me out on this. This is gonna be a lot. So someone's gonna step in first. This person is arguable who would be best.
We had a couple.
Yeah, it could be Sakura, or it could be Neji, or it could be someone else. Sakura and Neji were the two that I was leaning towards.
Konohamaru.
Okay, well, anyways, Sakura and Neji were the two I was leaning towards. So it's the hostage situation that Hanzo put Nagato in. Nagato is testing Naruto's resolve in the same way Obito is testing Naruto in the work. Here, Nagato's testing to see if Naruto could come to a different answer than what Nagato came to. Because with Nagato's answer, Konan lived, sure, but his friend still died. Nagato's obviously beating himself up over that. He thinks that's Nagato's mistake. He's blaming himself. So he's saying if Naruto can come to a different answer, see what happens in this scenario, which by the way is the same scenario that Kakashi taught him about in like episode 3 or whatever. Episode 4. So this is very interesting because in this case, Naruto doesn't come to a different answer. In this case, the hostage still dies. Naruto couldn't solve the impossible dilemma. And that's why he transforms in the Nine Tails, and then things go on in the same way.
Yeah, but Naruto doesn't really have much agency here because he's pinned down by the pain rods anyway. So
Well,
he's just like watching it.
In this case, you could argue Sakura or Neji, whoever, unpin him, but then like Pain just gets Hinata as a hostage.
Before, I guess.
It feels clunky.
It's
the
it's a
Hinata
lot.
scene is much more.
It's changing a lot, yeah. But
I think leaving the Hinata scene as is, it's more impactful because of Hinata's character too, because that's probably Hinata's best moment in the series and her only moment in Naruto Shippuden, really.
yeah. In this case, it's changing it from Nagato's first pain to his second pain. It's not just like how his parents were killed in front of him. In this case, Pain saying, "All right, Naruto, kill Sakura or Hinata dies." Sakura's like, "Naruto, you have to do it. We can't let Hinata die." Naruto's like, "No, I couldn't possibly kill you. I love you." And then like he's looking at Hinata, like he just can't make the choice. Shout out Demon Slayer season 3.
Say that in front of Hinata. That hurts. That hurts. You don't have to say that. But I think
the point is he can't do anything.
You could just
he
have
can't
it
make
be where
it move.
Naruto's just like Naruto. I don't think
hesitating.
Naruto should say anything out loud.
That's
should
fine.
Just be like frozen, like Nagato. Maybe he thinks in his head, but he shouldn't say anything out loud.
He's hesitating.
Just like
and
Nagato.
I guess Neji works better here because I don't know if Sakura would just run into Naruto's kunai in the same way that Yahiko did to Nagato. But Neji would
do something like that.
Yeah, so Neji dies in
though,
Naruto's hands, and
we're
then
having Hinata die, not Neji.
okay, but that makes it even crazier. So, in fact, you can include both elements here. Actually,
Hinata does it. Hinata runs into the kunai.
This doesn't make any sense.
So
no,
Neji runs into the kunai, and Pain kills Hinata anyway.
So okay, so what I'm thinking here Okay, he says to Naruto when Neji dies, Naruto was just like this when Yahiko died in front of me. And then he kills Hinata. Naruto is just like this how my parents died. You've experienced both my pains now. And then Naruto transforms.
Yeah, you've just experienced both my pains at the same time.
So in this case, Kamui, we actually don't lose that, because that was the one aspect you were complaining that we lose. We still get that.
Yeah, because originally we were just gonna have him kill Hinata and not the other person, but I guess this works. I mean, to be fair, Naruto already had the first great pain via Jiraiya's death. He gave Naruto 2 pains is the point.
I will say, I don't know if you guys have seen it. Kamui, I know you haven't. Daigo, have you seen Demon Slayer Season 3?
No, I hate Demon Slayer.
Fair, so do I. Okay, but Trippy made fun of it,
With
so I wanted to
passion.
watch it to hate it. So I watched it at 4 times speed, for the most part. So in Demon Slayer...
4 times? How do you understand it?
Bro, this is what this dude does. Like,
so
and then he
it-
wonders why he doesn't remember stuff in the animes he watches.
So I'll give as minimal spoilers as possible, but at the end of Demon Slayer
I don't care,
Season
but I know
3,
how it ends. Like, I read the
Okay,
last
well.
chapter of the manga.
fair enough. I'll give like minor spoilers. At the end of Demon Slayer Season 3, the main demon of the Season 3 demons is like running away. It's about to get away. Tanjiro can go kill it, but the sun is rising and Nezuko is there. If the sun rises and Nezuko's there, Nezuko's gonna
It kills
die.
Nezuko.
Yeah. So Tanjiro is like shielding Nezuko, like using the shade from his body, like hugging Nezuko so the sun doesn't get her, while the demon's getting away. And the demon's gonna go like eat someone because it's heavily injured. So it's gonna go like eat the citizens in town or whatever.
So he has to choose between Nezuko or people that the demon's gonna eat.
Yeah, and honestly, this was my favorite part of Demon Slayer Season 3, because Tanjiro's having this internal struggle. He can't move, because this was the entire point of his journey, was to save Nezuko. So he can't move, but he can't just let that demon go either. So he's having a panic attack, and this scene goes on. It's extended. It goes on for minutes. Inside his head, he is screaming, losing his mind, not knowing what to do, going up insane. It's great, honestly. It's really good. And then in the end, Nezuko makes the choice for him by like kicking him away, and that's all I'll say on the scene. But it's very similar to the hostage. But I think, again, the execution of that scene, take that and apply it to this Naruto scene. Naruto's freaking out, having a panic attack inside his head, can't decide what to do, can't move, because he needs to save both people, but he can't. So then Sakura or Neji makes a choice for him, and then Pain makes the other choice for him, and then both people die. Naruto's more defeated, gives him more reason to transform.
So brutal. Wait, he's just like, oh, Neji's dead. We'll take this, you know?
I mean, that's what Hanzo would have done. That's what Hanzo tried to do.
I think it could work, but I still think that the Hinata scene being short, the way it was, made way more sense. Thinking from the village's perspective, if they saw like Hinata coming to go and save Naruto, and then Neji going, why wouldn't more people try and fight Pain also? Because like,
I mean,
Pain was left with one body.
You can make the argument in the first
there
place.
were some ninjas.
Like, why didn't more people go in to help when Hinata stepped in? Like, the same argument. And then you can make the same argument.
Because in the manga, the fight literally lasts for 2 seconds.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, he just, like,
Why in
in
the anime? It doesn't.
In the manga, like, she attacks Tendo for, like, she uses her lion thing. She attacks him like 5-6 times. He dodges them all. And then he just Shinra tenses her into the ground and the fight's done.
Yeah. So, I mean,
it's way more...
Okay,
Yeah.
even if they have, like, anime filler of Shukaku just, like, jumping in and then getting Shinra tensei'd away, they could have still included that in this Hinata episode since it's anime only anyways. The extended fight, anyways. I think that could have worked. In fact, this is funny.
Shukaku.
This is really funny.
The tail beast that was already captured.
I think you meant to say
whatever.
Shikaku.
You know what I mean.
Like,
Shut up.
I thought you said
Shikamaru's
Shukaku,
dad.
not Shikaku.
Yeah, I think you said Shukaku, but...
Yeah, I meant Shikamaru's
Yeah,
dad.
bro, the tail-
Mhm.
But I still think, in the canon, I still think the other villagers, I understand the reason why it was written, why they shouldn't jump in for the story. In the plot, it doesn't make sense, because let's be honest, like, Ino from a range could just stun Pain with the mind transfer jutsu in the same way he does to Obito in the war. Like, the other villagers can still help from a range. Like, let's not pretend shadow paralysis isn't a bad
I don't think that would
idea.
have actually worked on the diva path, like the pain body. I don't think it would have worked.
Bro, you're telling me the Abarame's
mind
bugs could have
transferring
done
to the
just
corpse.
nothing? I think it could
I
have.
guess,
Shadow
like-
possession. No, he would just for Tensei Shadow.
He was too far away for a shadow possession, but I guess you could also argue that like Naruto told them not to interfere, so they won't interfere because even like attacking from a range can be like something detrimental for Naruto in the fight. Like it can actually affect his
Yeah, they throw
fight.
paper bombs when Naruto's right there, pinned on the ground.
And also, I guess you could make the argument that the entire village was blown away. And sure, Tsunade saved them, but still they can be very hurt.
Yeah, a lot of them
From the
were
sheer
injured. Like,
intensity.
Shikamaru had a broken ankle, which is why he couldn't jump in. But even if we're going with the excuse they came up with that, oh, Naruto and Pain are just way out of our league, we can't possibly help in, like, we'll just get in Naruto's way. Even if we're going with that, if Naruto's pinned down, you're no longer getting in his way. Like, there's one Pain body,
Yeah.
he's heavily fatigued. Like, Hinata isn't doing this out of emotions. It's the strategically wise decision. Like, if Hinata doesn't step in, the village just watches Pain take Naruto away. Pain just walks away with Naruto's corpse, and they just do nothing. Like, it's just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and I guess you could say with the speech that Tendo gave, they did have a decent amount of time to come up with a strategy to go and try to fight Tendo.
Absolutely. Like,
Down there.
even like a Hyuga air
So I
ball.
guess like a small fix if you want to keep the Hinata scene. Doing the speech, he's telling Naruto all that stuff, and then a lot of villagers come in, kind of like in the filler. Then he sure intenses them all away. Hinata stuns her Hyuga caretaker, and then she goes after Naruto after like everybody else failed.
Okay.
Like the retake Naruto plan fails, and Hinata is literally the last person who could try anything. That's like it gives also like a less hope scenario for her to go there.
That's interesting. I do kind of like that because that also upscales Hinata in terms of like making her relevant and like powerful, which is also important for like
Yeah, I mean,
Naruto the Last, since she's strong and special or whatever.
I guess, but you don't even have to change the outcome at all.
Yeah.
Maybe even before Nagato starts to give the speech, the Leaf Village comes up with a plan. Take the 20 or so most powerful ninjas they have. They're not like injured there. Maybe Shikamaru, who's injured, he gives them the strategy and they go and execute it, but they fail. And then after that, when Nagato finishes the speech, then Hinata stuns her caretaker, and then she goes out and tries to fight Pain, fails, and then the Six Tails comes out. And I guess you could, if you wanted, you could do the Neji throwing himself in the kunai bit with Hinata. Like maybe you could even add more to that. You could make Neji stun the caretaker, and then he tells Hinata, "Let's go down there and let's save Naruto." But the problem is you'd have to rewrite Guy's team as well, because Guy only arrives after Naruto goes Six Tails, because otherwise Guy would actually not be below their level. He could actually join the fight for real.
I know, yeah. 8-gate guy, which is body slam, which is why he was
not even like 7th gate would be like on par with them.
Oh, I know, yeah, for sure.
Like be crazy.
It would be crazy.
But then,
especially
you could
probably no. But at that point, 7th gate guy could take a tired, or at least, I mean, if he fights Tendo, and even if Pain managed to win that fight, even though he's tired. I mean, at that point, I think like Neji can like finish the rest.
So there's a few ways you go about this. Either Guy is just out of the village on a mission by himself, which Jonin can do, or
or with more Jonins. Like he could be on a mission with a whole like legion of Jonins for whatever reason, so that you can actually even excuse the Pain attack further. So the Leaf Village was not very well protected here because several of our most powerful ninjas were out.
It could have been with Yamato.
And then
I mean, this
Guy
is
isn't there.
Filler arcs in Naruto where Guy's literally leading a team of like Chunin and Jonin. I know they're filler, but like it makes sense in the lore that Guy could like lead a team. Yeah.
Well, again, like Tsunade, when she was first instilled Hokage, she was sending all the Jonin out on missions to make up for the fact that like the village seemed weak. So they can't just go on solo missions by themselves as well. But another few possibilities is you could also have people wouldn't like this.
Neji's also a Jonin, so like I guess
Yeah,
make
true.
that argument, but it doesn't really matter very much.
Yeah. The point is, you can just write him out of the village.
Neji gets sent out on the mission too. But you could also have it where Neji gets sent out on the mission, but then he sees the birds and then uses his Byakugan, senses something's up. Because he's by himself, he just goes home. Whereas Guy's on a different mission, so he doesn't go home with them.
Yeah.
You could just do that.
Hypothetically, you could also, if he is in the village, there's a few different ways you could go about it. The first, I don't think people would like many of the ways. The first way is you could just have him, like Shikamaru, have been injured in the Shinra Tensei, to where his ankle is just broken or whatever, so he can't fight. People wouldn't like that.
The problem is, Guy would be on the village during the attack itself. And if Kakashi and Guy fought together against Tendo, they would wipe Tendo out.
That's the thing, though. I agree, but you look at Konoha Crush, he didn't use the gates. Like, it's out of character for him to just solo the big bad like this, in my opinion. So you could argue.
I mean, it's...
He just does the
he
same
didn't
thing.
have to use the gates in the Konoha Crush.
I know,
He
yeah.
instantly went 6th gates when Kisame captured his team in the Kazekage rescue. So he had to be out of the village.
Yeah. So the third
for
option...
the arc to work, and for the...
The third option is, I guess you would rush Shinra Tensei quicker, but Guy dies against Shinra Tensei because Guy pushes him to the point where he needs Shinra Tensei.
I guess you could do that, but then he would also have to be one of the resurrected ones.
Yeah, he could be one of the 6, which would just increase the numbers as well. That'd be fine. I'm just thinking about, like, 6th gate Guy rushing up to Shinra Tensei's body, like Onoki rushing up to Madara's boulder. And he just does it.
Yeah, I think Guy being out of the village is the best decision here, but I think his team should be on the village during the arc. I think Neji and Lee should have had a moment during the Pain arc, because practically everybody else had one on the Konoha 12 there.
Yeah,
except for them, because they weren't on the village.
I have one more way. Again, I think everyone's going to hate every way I have, but I think this is going to be the least hated way. You guys might even like this way. Okay, say best for last. Pain knows how strong Might Guy is. Part of Pain's beginning of his invasion plan, because he like stealthily sneaked in the village or whatever, like he had a whole strategy for how he was going to invade. Very first thing he does, kill Guy. He goes in the build barrier, summons the thing, sneaks up behind him, hits him with the rod. Guy dies at the beginning of the fight.
Revive him?
At the end,
is he gonna revive him?
At the very end, yeah. It's one of the people that are revived.
Okay, because I was gonna say, I feel like we should leave Guy later on at the war.
I mean, I guess that could like serve as a warning for everyone. Okay, this is a serious arc. People can actually die for real here if Guy gets dropped in the first minute of the fight. But I don't know. I still think him being out of the village is the best decision still. And if you need to, just keep his team in the village.
Yeah. Okay. So this
I think Neji and Lee needed a moment in this arc.
I agree.
Because like Lee doesn't have anything in Naruto Shippuden. Like the only thing you could say kind of interesting that he does is he kicks Madara in half, and that lasts for like 2 seconds in the anime and 1 panel in the manga.
Basically,
and
in the
it's
background.
so small. He doesn't have a character moment in Naruto Shippuden, which is
not even focused
stupid.
on. No one even mentions it. It's crazy. Unironically, I think Lee did more damage to Madara than literally anyone ever. To Madara's body, I think so. I can't think of anything else. Because I don't think Night Guy did more damage
Guy
than
kicked
cutting
him pretty hard in the 8th gate.
Yeah, but I would say he was
he kind of exploded half his body. There's a when Tsunade punches Madara.
Oh,
he stabs her.
That might be more. Yeah. Now that you say
there's an interpretation, because you could say that was a wood clone all along that Tsunade destroyed, or the Madara substituted after she punched him.
Well, I don't think we can include that.
So if that was an actual punch, that was more damage.
You also have Onoki's particle style, but he let him do that. You have Sasuke stabbing him with the sword. I think he let him do that. I've heard the interpretation recently that, oh no, Sasuke's just that strong. Madara, why would he let him do that? No, he definitely let him do that.
When Madara caught his sword, with his arm.
Yeah, with his
Yeah.
arm.
And he's
No,
like,
that was definitely
"Ah,
on purpose.
pain."
He literally did that
Absolutely.
to grab Sasuke's sword.
Literally, yeah.
And that was definitely not as much damage as Rock Lee kicking him in half.
Yeah. The only other thing I can
I
think of-
guess Madara himself destroyed his Edo body with his meteors. Like, he literally obliterated his body.
Yeah, I mean,
The
like
person that hurt
his real
Madara most
body
was
was probably
Madara.
more durable.
That's funny. The only other thing I was thinking of was the 1,000 hands, but that only hit like the Susanoo, which wasn't Madara. But like chakras comprised of physical energy, so in a way it was Madara.
Then I guess you could say that Onoki's particle style in the end of their fight destroyed like 25 Susanoos
Oh yeah,
at the same time, so that was a lot of damage.
Yeah, you could
and 25 wood clones with it.
Dawn speed blitzed him,
and I think that part, if I'm not mistaken, that particle style also like destroyed Madara's real body's like arm and leg. Because Madara couldn't use his Preta path because he was using the Susanoo, so like he couldn't absorb the Jinton.
That's interesting.
But yeah, anyway.
Okay. Anyway, so that's the second part of the pain rewrite. Kamui had least problems with this part. Kamui had the most problems with the third part. In fact, just to hear it from the most biased perspective as possible, Kamui, I'll let you present the third part for me.
Basically, okay, so Oodie wanted to have.
Well, hang on, Kamui. Actually, before hang on, Kamui. Wait. Before jumping to the third part, because this is also relevant, I will say, going back to something we were just discussing, even in canon, it doesn't make sense for nobody to help out Naruto, because, they're just too strong, or whatever. Because at the end of the arc, when Naruto's going to confront Nagato, they're like, let us tag along, Naruto will help you out. That doesn't make any sense at all. Basically, like, why didn't they have that attitude 10 minutes earlier?
Shikaku and Inojin?
Yeah.
No, Inojin.
The third one.
Inoichi.
I do the same thing.
Yeah. I guess you could say they were trying to actually find Nagato and not Naruto, but they just happened to cross paths with Naruto. And then Naruto told him, yeah, can you just let me do it myself? And they let him because they believed in Naruto. Yeah. I think that's how the scene went. They weren't necessarily looking for Naruto. They were looking for Nagato.
If anything, I think it would have been more...
It's that they didn't want Naruto to go alone, but they were like gonna let him fight alone.
Yeah, they didn't have that. But... they did not think that when Naruto was fighting pain.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is a little flimsy. Like, you weren't fighting for Naruto in the village. Why now?
Now, I will say, I think actually the way to fix this is just to flip-flop it. Instead of the villagers being like, we can't get in Naruto's way, it's when Naruto first arrives. He's like, Tsunade, inform everyone. I need to fight him alone. It's the same thing he said against Kakuzu. Like, in this case, it's Naruto doing what he was doing at the end of the arc. Leave me alone, guys. I'm going to fight him by myself. Which, again, I think it just works because that's a mistake.
I can't remember if
some loses and then they don't trust him kind of thing. Do you mean? I think
there's some. Isn't there anything else relevant that happens when Naruto meets with Inoichi and Shikaku there in the forest? I don't remember exactly the scene, what they actually.
Naruto does say that he doesn't want to kill him. He wants to talk to him, not to fight him.
That's it.
Everything that happened. Yeah, he explains why, and then I think that's just it.
Yeah, so it's not as though you really need that scene to happen.
Yeah, Shikaku and Inoichi are basically saying they want revenge for the village. Naruto's like, no, that's a cycle of hatred. I'm going to go confront him now to deal with it. Which is funny because Shikaku taught Shikamaru about the cycle of hatred.
So assuming for your rewrite, Naruto would tell Katsuyu to tell everybody to leave him alone.
Katsuyu
again.
Works better, yeah. A lot better than Tsunade, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Why did you say Tsunade? Like,
I don't know. It's someone that was confused. There. Most relevant person.
Wait, where? Because
Katsuyu.
She was like in a coma.
I mean, you have to fall into a coma. You don't just instantly go into it. Like she could have been like slurring her words. Guys, leave Naruto alone.
I think she fell in a coma during the fight, but I don't know. I don't remember exactly when that happened.
It was when Sakura was holding her hand, I think.
Yeah, and that was during the fight, wasn't it? Like during the pain fight.
It was like, I think she was taken away first. I don't remember exactly how it goes. It's something like that.
All right, so basically for Oodie's third part, you remember the hostage situation using Hinata and either Neji or Sakura?
Mm-hmm.
So Oodie wanted to have when Naruto's talking to Nagato
At the end of the arc,
in the tree,
after
the paper
this,
tree.
yes.
He wanted Nagato, the crippled Nagato stuck in his
Oh my
machine,
god.
to create another hostage situation with, I guess, Inoichi and Shikaku, because nobody else went there. He wants to basically create another hostage situation, and Naruto is just gonna save them both by being strong.
Shut
And then
up.
Nagato's gonna be like
Most
mesmerized,
biased way
like
to
he
say it.
actually did it. He found the answer, and then believe in him. That's what Oodie wants.
That is the most biased way to say it.
Okay.
But okay. Yeah, so the point is, Naruto,
What's
I'm sure I could have
Oodie's-
made it sound worse.
this was the same situation Naruto was presented in earlier. This shows Naruto's growth. Earlier, Naruto didn't have the answer, in the same way Nagato didn't have the answer. Here, Naruto found the answer, Nagato never could. And you could argue it's because the Shadow Clones. With the Shadow Clones, he can do the impossible, look left and right at the same time. Maybe that's even why he thought about it. Nagato's like, oh, it's an impossible situation. And then he thinks back to Fukusaku being like, oh, you have to look left and right at the same time. And then Naruto realizes, oh, Shadow Clones are the answer. That's how he can save both hostages.
I mean, like I said, in that concept, like Nagato even says, it's like looking to the left and right at the same time. It's an impossible situation. That's fine, but I don't want to give all my problems before Dygo gives his take. Before I say,
okay,
what I
I'll
would
also
like to-
say, I'm
Continue.
not saying it has to be Shikaku and Inoichi. It could just be two other people. Like, it doesn't have to be, just rewrite it to where it's not them. It's two other people that tag along.
Yeah, who?
Like,
I don't care who. It could be
Somebody else?
Sakura.
It's gonna be Sakura, you mean the person who's dead in the rewrite?
Okay, it could be, it's Shikamaru and Ino. I don't care. It doesn't have to be.
Shikamaru with his broken ankle who can't run?
Yeah, he goes to
So-
Naruto. And that shows his
so,
resolve as a
like,
ninja, his conviction.
So his Talk no Jutsu would rely much more on this display of strength than on Naruto showing him Jiraiya's book and all that.
No, it would be similar to Haku, to where, or I guess really every version of Talk no Jutsu would be like Neji, it'd be like Obito, to where first he overpowers them, and then he talks to them.
I mean, but he overpowered the paths of pain. And then even in the original, Naruto manages to shrug off that, Nagato trying to control him from point blank range.
The point of this isn't to say, oh, Naruto's so strong, he can defeat even Nagato, the true body of pain. He's so much strong, he's so OP now. That's crazy. The point isn't for Naruto to have an extended fight
it's
with
like-
but you were
Nagato.
getting it. No, you were trying to make it be that Naruto just was strong. That was what you were proposing. To
No,
me
I
originally,
wasn't. That was
with
your
his strength.
misinterpretation. My point is
Yes,
that he
it was.
finds
We
the
literally
correct
have, like,
answer.
God knows how many hours of stream on this. You were making that a integral point.
No, I wasn't. The point is that
Yes, you were.
the point is that he finds the impossible answer. There's a strength in that. Naruto doesn't have to be physically strong
But also-
for that.
But no, but you literally wrote it in the rewrite that Naruto was just that like you made it so that Naruto was just that strong. We didn't even do the left and right shadow clone thing. I'm the one who brought that up to you in that
Nonsense.
discussion.
I
How I
don't
think that
think
could work.
that's true at all.
But even then, but first of all, the hostage itself matters because you gotta make it make sense. Also, how is Nagato doing the hostage?
Bro, again, we've talked about this. I don't care if he's freaking a will-bound chair cripple, okay? He has the Rinnegan. Just almighty pull him to him, and then there's your hostage. It's that easy.
Then how does Naruto save him? If he's in both of it, he's got them by the chokehold. What shadow clone trick is Naruto gonna do?
Well, he would only
Just
have
let
one
go
in
of
the
that?
chokehold. And he could have made shadow clones from beforehand, anticipating this to have happened. He's prepared. It's not
No,
It's
bro,
not being
that's
prepared, it's
worse.
preventing hatred from happening in the first place. Naruto had his answer. He's not reacting like he was against Kakuzu. He's being proactive. Even when Naruto's gone, he still has the answer. This is the answer. He saves both hostages.
Again, I want to let Dygo give his takes before I say other stuff.
First of all, I think two hostages situations in such a short time span is a little bit weird.
Okay, but it's also the
So you have
point
to
of
do
the
one or
arc.
the other.
Like this is Nagato's
I don't
failure, and then Nagato's pushing his failure onto Naruto. Naruto's growing from his failure. The only way to prove that he grew from it is to succeed in the same dilemma.
So I guess if you wanted to do the first hostage situation, you could do the same thing here. You could have Nagato get one hostage, and then like one of Naruto's friends is not a hostage, but then Nagato tells Naruto to kill that one. Kind of like the same scenario.
Yeah, so
And
exactly.
then Naruto
So
saves the hostage.
yeah, so Nagato takes one person hostage and says to Naruto, "Kill your second person who's
Okay.
next to you, or I'm gonna kill this person in my grip."
And then Naruto, he could say, "Oh, but you actually killed both of them last time," and then Nagato's gonna say, "Yeah, but this time I don't have the power to do that." I guess, because I mean,
Well, no, in this case, Nagato would
uh,
kill both if he can, because again, he's testing Naruto to see if he's changed. In this case, Naruto has changed, so he's gonna come to the right answer. He's gonna succeed, where Nagato failed
But
previously.
how?
Shadow clones sneak him from
Because
behind.
now I think about the shadow clone doesn't make any sense.
Why?
Because no, but the problem is Naruto's got a chokehold on the hostage. How does Naruto just undo that if he charges towards Nagato to save
I
him?
mean,
I told
it
you,
doesn't
sneak him
have
from
to be like
behind.
I don't. I'm not really thinking about like how I'm thinking about the concept.
Which is
Well,
the
I'll
point,
get to the
exactly.
concept part
Freaking
after,
Kamui's never understood that with the
No,
30 hours of rewrite we'd have discussed.
No, but Oodie, the details matter.
Oh
We've
my
literally
God.
talked
No,
this
I know.
about
Finally, a
I agree. I agree.
reasonable
But
person.
you can come up.
Someone
you
who
can come up with the
thinks
mechanics
logically.
later. Like I'm still
Exactly!
thinking about the concept.
Oh my
Like
god!
I
I'm not
guess it could
crazy!
work, but
Thank you!
I think
Woody,
I
you've already done the concept. You gotta get the details. If your details
I think
suck,
Yeah, tell it to Dygo.
would you
I will after.
still do the book scene?
You can
after
keep all that. That can come after. That's fine. If you like it. It doesn't really matter in this case, but yeah. If
well,
you
I mean,
what was
it,
your
sure,
like?
or
Would
this
you
could be replaced.
would you have cut that out? Would you have cut that out?
Okay, well, I don't want that to influence this because this is separate from that. I personally didn't like that, but that's a different discussion. I know a lot of people do.
I mean, I don't think you should have both because your point in this rewrite is for Naruto succeeding in the hostage situation as being the big thing that makes Nagato be wowed by Naruto and have a change of heart because Naruto found an answer whereas he couldn't. So the book scene is a completely different thing.
Yeah, that's what
for
I'm trying to
reaching
say.
through to Nagato. Like it's a completely different concept.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
doing both just feels off.
Yeah, so
I feel like you got to pick one or the other.
again, I don't like the book scene, so I want to cut it, but I don't want to
thinking about it.
Yeah, I don't want to just come out and say, "Oh yeah, cut it," because then that's going to like taint people's view of the point of this. They're going to like combine the two into those rewrite. "Oh, you can't include this rewrite because it cuts out the book scene and I like the book scene." Well, that's not the point of the rewrite.
Well, no, but see, my issue though is the problem is what the book scene meant for like
And what's
the whole
the hostage
concept behind this
situation
talk
mean?
is essentially Naruto putting aside his hatred, like he's not choosing vengeance. And I feel and that's the main moral is Naruto stayed true to himself. Naruto lost his way. He sees in Naruto what he used to be, and he's kind of reminded of his original path in life. But this hostage situation is just so different. It doesn't have the same message to the arc because all Naruto did was stop the hostage. That has nothing to do with overcoming hatred. He's just he's just stopping a hostage. It's not about
Kamui.
him personally overcoming his own hatred. That's
So-
the important
so,
message
Kamui,
for how he gets through to Sasuke.
you want to get so clung up on the semantics, get lost in the details. You want to talk about the mechanics, okay? You want to you don't want to discuss what or how it happened. You want to discuss what happened. So okay, let's just, how does Naruto have that book? He turned into the Nine Tails. That book should have burned. Explain that. Mr.
his
Plot
clothes
hole
don't burn,
doesn't make
so it
sense.
Doesn't matter.
Go ahead, Kamui.
His clothes don't burn.
Okay, yeah, explain that.
No,
So why isn't Naruto naked? Go ahead, explain it. Mr. Oh, anime logic doesn't exist. Go ahead, explain it.
Because anything within the cloak doesn't burn. Anything outside that touches it does. Not what's inside it.
Naruto's skin burned.
No, it didn't. It was just bloody.
It was literally burned, whatever.
No, it's just blood. It's covered in blood.
not
Jiraiya
blood.
says it verbatim. The
Okay.
skin is covered in blood, not burns.
Oh, I'm gonna trust
No, but his
Jiraiya.
skin, like,
Okay.
disintegrates. His skin disintegrates when he goes to the second stage.
Exactly.
But that doesn't really matter. I was just trying to think like which one would I would still pick the book ending. over the hostage ending.
Okay.
I don't think it's a terrible idea. Like if that was done, like people wouldn't hate it. I think
Kamui would,
it
but
would've
you
been a
know,
fine
Kamui's not a true Naruto
No,
fan, so I
because
guess
we
it
know
makes
what
sense.
comes-
No,
the problem, Oodie,
no,
the
I mean,
problem is what comes later, because we know how the message of the arc translates to everything with Sasuke later on. And of course, if you change the rest of Naruto, that's fine. But I am of the belief that if you're going to do a pain arc rewrite and you're not going to rewrite the rest of the story, then it should work in tandem with the rest of the story.
No, you know,
you admitted, yeah, you want to rewrite the rest of the story. That's fine, but you haven't done that, so I'm
I
going
don't
to
need to
judge
do
it
that.
based off the rest of the story.
okay, but no, Kamui, you wanted Daigo's take. We've heard Daigo takes. I agree with Daigo. That any reasonable person wouldn't hate this rewrite. I agree.
And he literally prefers the original over it, like me. So he agrees with me anyway.
He thought this one was fine.
No, I mean, I think obviously depending on how you execute it, it could work.
That's
I
what
just
I'm
think
saying.
that
The execution matters.
Okay,
I think-
but
I
Kamui,
think the
Daigo's
book
rewriting
ending
all
is
of
more
Naruto
powerful,
anyway,
though.
so apparently the peak pain arc isn't as good as you think it is if he's rewriting it.
Huh?
You're rewriting all of
What?
Naruto, so yeah.
I mean, yeah, but the changes to the pin arc are not gonna be as significant. I guess.
Well, yeah, but the point is you're still rewriting it. That's the
Um,
point.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
there you go.
A lot of the things that I do is just like adding more stuff, like more character moments
Yeah.
and arcs and stuff.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
But
So that's the pain rewrite.
yeah, it's an interesting thought. I would pick the book ending still.
Okay.